sure I can see that, right?
Well, you can move around if you want.
That's good. Hi. We have to stand by the podium. So this is my opportunity.
What did I tell y'all last week?
Okay, so I'm deciding to do my 25 minutes. No. Oh, it is so great to be home.
25 hours.
25
I'll
hours.
answer that. You're really
I'll do my best. It is so fabulous to be here. I used to come here like, I don't know, every time I turned around. Every other month, it got lost on the way. I could take every way to get here that there could possibly be. And I'm thankful to be here. I'm actually thankful to be anywhere. And there's a whole story behind that, but we'll try not to go into it. Yes. Yes. You know, don't you love words? Words like thank you. Words like it is fantastic to be here. I love words. I used to teach English before I walked in and lost my grasp of the English language. But I still love words. I mean, F words are my favorite. Don't you love F words? And they can be very descriptive. They are like, I love the word frequency. Annette has the amazing opportunity to raise the frequency here every Sunday. And I get to live on that frequency. In the class, How to Channel, even if you think you can't, that we're doing in Branson next month, we raise the frequency as well. So you might join us, or we'll use your frequency raising energy. Yeah.
We can have it.
Yes. Another F word that I love, fuerte. A friend of mine, every time he wants to be really strong, he says, we are fuerte. So you always have to, absorb that. So, can you be forte sitting down? Forte. Yes, exactly. I looked up forte in the dictionary because I wanted to make sure what it was what I was saying it was. And I actually found forte, which is kind of a musical term, I think. Yeah, but when you look it up in the dictionary, I do have notes here. It keeps me on track for recordings. Forte is a fabulous word. It means a person's strong suit or most highly developed characteristic, talent, or skill. Something that one excels in. So you can fuerte means strong, so you can go fuerte, and then you can go forte in what you excel in, right? Fabulous word. It's a fantastic word. Another F word that we sometimes try to love is finances. We love the flow of our finances, right? I mean, do you all have favorite words? Hello? Fun. Exactly. We are fun. I think I spent too much time by myself as a kid, because I had favorite words back then too. And F words were still some of my favorites. Maybe different ones. I have 3 personal favorites in the F word category. Feedback, forgiveness, and freedom. Yes. One actually leads right into another. I know we like to know that, and we know that, and we hear that, and it's one of those things that we still get the opportunity to hear time and time again. I mean, you have positive and negative feedback, right? You have feedback that comes when I walk back there and the microphone and the speakers, excuse me, start talking to each other, and then you can't hear what I'm saying. That's called feedback. You also have feedback from a friend when they say, let me give you some feedback on what you just did in that restaurant. Right? That's information. So basically, feedback can be information to say that something needs to be shifted, something needs to be changed. Another F word that I became very familiar with was failure. Anybody familiar with failure? Yes, I certainly was. And pardon my eyes, I was in the hospital a year and a half ago and died and intubated and blah, blah, blah. And since then, my eyes just water sometimes. Or maybe I'm just happy to see y'all. Anyway, when I think of situations where I've felt that failure, then I learned to forgive myself, right? According to Adironnda, and if you don't know who Adironnda is, Google them. I can say that now. I couldn't say that when I started coming here. Adironnda is a spokesperson. Anyway, we're going to have a session with Adironnda this afternoon. Anyway, they say that there's no such thing as failure, that it doesn't exist. It's actually just feedback. And when you stop and think about it, every single time we think we've failed at something, if we take that aspect and bring it in, then we can shift it around and move in a little different direction. I was talking a few days ago with some of my friends, and I know I have friends that aren't here. How could that be? And we were driving in the car, and I said that I was going to speak here at Unity of Fayetteville, and my topic was forgiveness is just another F word. And one of them said, another F word. And I'm sure it was fantastic. And I said, well, what does forgiveness mean to you? Or what does the lack of forgiveness mean to you? And they laughed a while because they thought that would be a funny topic in church. And I'm like, I think that's what it was based on, Then one of them said, one of these women that what I was with, I put her in the wise woman category. You've got those sages in your life that you think, oh, I want to grow up and be just like you. And she said, the lack of forgiveness is an indigestible morsel. I know. An indigestible morsel. In other words, that there's something so horrible that you couldn't digest it. And like an animal, if they eat something they cannot digest, like a bone, it will actually kill them. And it will kill you too, if you don't forgive. I know, it's like we do a workshop, a clerk shop actually. Play plus work equals clerk. And there's some seats up here if you want to come sit down. Okay. It's called Everything's Possible. How many of you have been there? It's a great clerk shop. We have a section on forgiveness. And we explain what forgiveness is and how to do it and things like that. And the people that know that have been to the clerk shop before, because, of course, in my opinion, it's something that you need to do every year, like therapy, right? And they know that the section on forgiveness is coming up, and somehow they think, I think I need to go get something to eat. When that section comes up, they attempt to avoid it for some reason. We talk about it as though forgiveness, or the lack of forgiveness, that would be more appropriate, can actually stop you from living a life that you would love to live. It can hold you back. We teach how to channel, how to connect with your guidance in a stronger way. It can actually, when you don't forgive everybody for everything, that will actually prevent or filter, block, yeah, who said that? Block, exactly, that direct connection that you have to God or to Source or to whatever you call that, to a net, that higher energy. Anyway, in A Course in Miracles, how many of you read A Course in Miracles? How many of you read it once and thought, I don't get it? I did once, and then 10 years later I did it again. A Course in Miracles says, the unforgiving mind is full. It must be important because the bells are ringing, right? The unforgiving mind is full of fear and offers love no room to be itself. No place where it can spread its wings in peace and soar above the turmoil. The unforgiving mind is sad, without hope of respite and release from pain. It suffers and abides in misery, peering about in the darkness, seeing not, yet certain danger is lurking there. The unforgiving mind is in despair, without the prospect of a future which can offer anything except more despair. Lack of forgiveness thinks it cannot change, for what it sees actually bears witness to its own judgment, which becomes correct. I mean, it's like, whew, breathe that way. That's pretty heavy stuff. Let me see if I can breathe here. You know, the foundation, and I know you know this, we all know this, and yet we still seem to get caught up in it. I have. That the foundation for every illness, the foundation for every sickness, the foundation for every chronic pain is emotional imbalance, is forgiveness. Without the acknowledgement of the travesties or what seems to be injustices or betrayals from the outside world, forgiving then, or not forgiving, becomes that indigestible morsel. I mean, that emotion is still running deep within your cellular field, which we all know is more than just our physical body. It's our field, which y'all are in my field right now. It's the complication to that disease. And we as awakened people, we know, okay, so I've got a cold right now. I've got a little thing going on with my lungs right now. Okay, lungs are emotion. Cold is too much going on. Okay, first time that's heard. I heard that one for a while. You see, forgiveness is like having something stuck in your digestive system if you don't do it, if you can't forgive. And nothing good will ever come from it. We all know that there are people in our life, there are situations in our life that we have to forgive, right? We all know this. I mean, your ex-spouse or your ex-spouses, your ex-boyfriend or girlfriends, someone who wronged you or betrayed you or created anxiety in your life. Pamela Thompson in the 7th grade that made fun of me. Your first grade teacher who singled you out because of something you did or maybe did not do. That rapist who took away your childhood. Your best friend who moved away because her father had a job in another town. That murderer who changed your life because they murdered your neighbor or your son or your daughter or your friend. The argument that you had, even though you both know you were right, but you haven't forgiven them because you know you were righter than they were. Yourself, for the decision that you made to go into that particularly destructive relationship, whatever. We all have reasons for our forgiveness. And I want you to please note that, excuse me, I included some travesties that could be considered pretty unforgivable. Rockets are good for lots of things. I included some deep travesties in the same phrase that I included being upset with Pamela Thompson in the 7th grade, which seems pretty trivial. In actuality, there is no difference. There's no difference between them. Your brain digests them all the same as that travesty. Scientifically, your brain is adapting to the energies. Say Pamela Thompson in the 7th grade made fun of you, so then you changed your natural personality to make people like you more and not make fun of you. That has every bit of lasting effect on you as being molested when you were a child. There's no greater gravity, distance between the two. They are the same. But that's another topic. Back to indigestible morsels. They have the same impact. You see, those morsels of anger, even though they may be really subtle, they sneak up on you so much. You don't even know that they're there until something triggers you. And you think, well, that person, blah, 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 blah. And really, what it really is blah, blah, blah. And that's the important part, right? And you feel that frustration or anger inside. That's still that indigestible morsel of something that happened last year, last month, in your childhood before you were 7, all the way back to where you were 2, whatever, that you haven't let go of, or you still can't forgive that challenging relationship because he or she or now they did this or that or the other thing. You see, you have a tendency to hold on to those because that's kind of how you've defined yourself, by those stories and those situations. Oh yeah, I did this and I did that. Well, Eckhart Tolle talked about that in The Power of Now. He said, we react to life now based on the paradigms and programming we got as a kid. Well, I'm not buying it anymore. No, that is not my reality. I believe that we all have the power to shift absolutely everything in our lives. Yeah. Can I hear an amen? We choose those situations. We all know that we create everything in our lives. We all know that we're responsible for everything in our lives. We all get that. And we have those wonderful indigestible morsels. Because unless you're willing to go into those dark places, unless you're willing to go into that situation and forgive all of those people, all of those situations, most importantly yourself, they will still be there. And you will actually create situations to bring more people like that to you, to reinforce those beliefs or those old paradigms. And it gets really tiresome to carry those around, doesn't it? It's like, yeah, that's why people get, all hunched over, because they're carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders. Well, our discussion in the car a few days ago, our logical mind knows that that is different. Our logical mind knows. We are enlightened people. We know we have to forgive everyone, everything, and ourselves. And yet, for some reason, I see it every time we do the Everything is Possible workshop. People don't want to take that leap. Forgiveness, or the lack thereof, actually, scientifically, creates more toxicity in your brain and your body than any other emotion. I mean, I could quote all the scientists that said that, but it's true. We simply can't seem to get there through that indigestible morsel and then digest it through forgiveness. We all know that not forgiving keeps us a victim. And we all know that victim is the lowest range of consciousness. We all know that we get to release it physically, mentally, emotionally. We know those things because it poisons us. So why does it crop up every once in a while? Why does it move into this energy? I've been asking myself that. We all know that when we forgive, no matter what, it takes the blame, shame, and guilt game that we love to play as victims out of the equation. We all know this. We know that it's just feedback. That forgiveness. Just feedback when we hear ourselves blaming someone about even something simple. My printer's not working. Oh, it must be the guy that hooked up my internet. Victim, that's the American Sign Language for victim. We do that a spiritual happy hour. We do spiritual happy hour twice a month on YouTube. You'll see that every once in a while. Forgiveness isn't just a religious concept. You know, it used to be a religious concept. It's not anymore. When we don't forgive, the toxins in our brain and our organs, our stomach actually produces too much acid. And then it starts maybe creating an ulcer or whatever else. It's as strong a poison as venom. So there's two things that you get to forgive, always across the board. Forgiveness of someone else for what you perceived that they did, or some situation for what you perceived, because there's always two sides to every story. And forgiveness of yourself for what you perceive you did, even though that may or may not be the actual reality of the situation. In reality, all forgiveness is self-forgiveness. You know, they said that Master Yeshua brought forgiveness into the world, or Jesus brought forgiveness into the world. And I don't think he did. He just taught us that our brother, he is our brother. He is our relative that taught us that it is possible to forgive. And by not forgiving, you're only accelerating that harmful poison that is within you. And, you know, when you keep repeating those things over and over and over, I mean, are you getting this? Do you get my point here? I'm repeating it over and over and over, I know. There are lots of affirmations that you can do. Because, you know, in our class, we say, so let me show you how to forgive. I mean, I've taken loads of classes and seminars, and they all say, you have to forgive, but very few of them actually help me forgive. Have you noticed that? They haven't taught me a system to forgive. So I'm going to teach you one. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Good. This one came from Michael Beckwith. You know who Michael Beckwith is?
Yes.
I love him. I've met him. My little ego loves that too. Anyway, Michael Beckwith said, in forgiveness, to use this as an affirmation. And if you want to email me or something later, I'll give you this written down. I take responsibility for my actions, and I forgive myself for all that I have. Why don't you take a deep breath and just listen to this real closely. I take responsibility for my actions, and I forgive myself for all that I have knowingly or unknowingly done to hurt myself or other individuals. I release myself from the bondage of unforgiveness. I am free. Guilt, shame, and blame are now neutralized, which will saturate my heart. I will begin afresh in this world today. Free. Just breathe that in. I will begin afresh today. Free. You see, guilt has no transformational value. Shame has no transformational value. Blame has no transformational value. Unforgiveness has no transformational value. So letting go of the guilt, the shame, the blame helps you to forgive more completely. Now that doesn't mean you have to saddle up and be best friends with the people in your life that have created situations, or you've created those situations where you got the opportunity to practice your forgiving. I know we create all those, and we're better people for it. So how do you forgive? Well, I've created a 6-step method. I like 6 because 6 is the number of numerology. We have a book back there on it, of harmony. According to the Tibetans, according to Pythagoras, 6 is the number of material possessions and things you own or don't own. According to Adironnda, it's pregnant with ideas because they go in the shape of the number. 6 methods, I digress, that will help you resolve that indigestible morsel. First, give yourself permission to feel what it is that you feel. Give yourself permission to feel that pain, anger, anxiety, but set a time limit on it. True. Stop telling yourself the old story. Did you know that every time you tell the old story of something that you're upset about, your brain thinks that you're actually doing it again? And so those toxins start being produced in your brain, in your stomach, in your digestive system. It actually believes that. So don't tell the story any longer. 3, have the willingness to forgive. Adironnda gave me a statement a long time ago. I am willing to forgive. Actually wills it into place. If you have trouble forgiving someone, just repeat 1,000 times a day, I am willing to forgive so-and-so and so-and-so. I'm willing to forgive it. It wills it into place. 4, practice forgiveness and love 5 to 15 minutes a day. Hold that person in your heart and practice, I love them, I forgive them, I wish them well. I love me, I forgive me, I wish me well. For 5 to 15 minutes a day, it will change your life. 5, wish the same for yourself that you do for others. 6, do something positive for that person or that situation. Something physical. I mean, send them a card, send them a note, send them energy, send them a gift. Even if they've passed on. I mean, I've started writing letters to people, to the post office. I said, to so-and-so and so-and-so who died in 1987, I forgive you, and I post that in the mail. So it goes into some dead letter box. I don't care. The energy is still there. Those are the 6 steps that bring you to the final F word. And that's freedom. That will set you free. Forgiveness will definitely set you free. So let's just take a few moments of meditation and just breathe into that energy. Breathe into your heart and allow your energy to come through. And if there's someone or some situation in your life that you maybe could use a little forgiveness wrapped around them, let's just bring them up into our own presence. Breathe into that energy. Imagine that person or situation is right there in front of you. And you can see them. And just inside, repeat these phrases. I am willing to forgive you. I am willing to be free from this energy. I am willing to be free and see you free as well. I am willing to be the next great version of myself, because that's who I truly am. What happened may have seemed like it determined my destiny and yours. I let all that go. I am willing to know that my destiny is a part of me. I can be thankful that you or this situation played a part of the creation of me. And I'm willing to accept all that is between us and surround it with love. For I love you for volunteering to help me evolve. Take a deep breath. Now just place your hands over your heart. Just say to yourself, I am willing to forgive me too. I'm willing to forgive me as well. I'm willing to live my life free. Take a deep breath. Take another deep breath and sigh it out. Another deep breath and sigh it out. Sigh it out. That'll bring you back. Take another deep breath, and when you're ready, open your eyes. You know, I love it here.